Good Friday morning. This is Randy LaFall from Randy's Rant and the Sunday Moment. As a person educated in journalism and a career in probation, what they have in common is deadlines. And I was determined to meet this deadline for this presentation regarding why we should be acknowledging the 4th of July for the sacrifices made by African Americans. However, with the day got away from me, and so here I am sitting here now. I hope you won't think I'm weird, because why is he up at 1 o'clock in the morning doing this? But I thought it was important, and I thought it would be something that I would have ready right when the burgers and ribs were ready, or the fireworks, or you would have had a chance to tell your children, about these remarkable human beings who committed themselves to the country as well as to their freedom. And so basically, this is.
Buckle up, America. This ain't your grandma's election season. 2024 is a powder keg waiting to explode, and we're pouring gasoline on the flames. From the sun-baked deserts of Arizona to the icy tundras of Maine, the fault lines are widening, the political tremors intensifying. Red against blue, urban against rural, populist against elitist. This election's a story of two Americas locked in a staring contest, daring each other to blink. Well, be your boots on the ground, your fly on the
not a Sunday moment or a Randy's Rant, but more a reflection and something that I think will always be timely. This is the podcast on our involvement in the Revolutionary War. From 13 states to Watergate, from Plymouth Rock to Acid Rock, the African American has been involved in many instances to defend this country in ways that now conservatives call American exceptionalism. These were truly some exceptional people. Who were the players, the combatants? Well, there were the loyalists. There were black loyalists who were for the British and had been promised their freedom if they would fight. And many were relocated to Nova Scotia and to Sierra Leone. And then there were the black patriots who were promised by George Washington that they would be freed, and yet that was not the case, as you obviously understand. In fact, the British abolished slavery the British abolished slavery in 1833, and it took the U.S. 30 more years and another 100 years of discrimination and terror. So basically, the
wall, your truth serum in the sea of spin. Join us as we crisscross the nation, unearthing the stories simmering beneath the surface. We'll talk to the candidates, the voters, the analysts, the everyday folks caught in the crossfire. This isn't just about who wins the White House. It's about the battle for the soul of the nation. The stakes have never been higher. We'll delve into the issues that divide us: healthcare, immigration, climate change, gun control. We'll expose the cracks in the system, the special interests pulling the strings, the misinformation muddying the waters. This is more than an election. It's a referendum on who we are, who we want to be. We'll bring you the raw, unfiltered truth, the voices you won't hear on the evening news. So strap in, America. We're headed into the storm. This is election 2024.
And another 100 years of discrimination and terror. So basically, the foundation was laid by the people that I will talk about. And so let's start and let's look at some of the people who are the actual players in this Revolutionary War that should be acknowledged and respected. First, there is Phyllis Wheatley. She was a writer and a poet who wrote so impressively that George Washington was influenced by her and actually referred to her as her being at his service. And so she encouraged Washington to allow black slaves to fight for their freedom. And initially he was hesitant because he didn't think the slaves would fight or could be trusted. However, this was enough at a battle that he did find that the slaves were willing to fight and could be trusted. And there were several of them who made a difference in the outcome of the war. Firstly, the British had told black slaves that if they fought for them, they could be free, and they actually did. And so Washington, he then enlisted after Phyllis Wheatley had written him so much, and she was at one time called the most famous black person in the Western world. And she died impoverished in 1784 at the age of 31. Then there's Mr. James Armstead. He was born in 1748 and died in 1830. He alerted the Continental Army that Cornwall was marching 10,000 troops. And there were several black spies in the Continental Army. Then there's Peter Salem, born in 1750 and died in 1896. He was 65 years old. He was often send slaves to write. Salem was such the case. He killed a major general, John Grogan, who was highly considered and ranked in the British Army at Bunker Hill, and for that he is lauded greatly. Followed by some facts.
Divide, stand, volatile, we fly. Join us every week as we navigate the political rapids, dissect the talking points, and expose the truth behind the headlines. Because in this election, ignorance is not bliss, it's a death sentence.
Followed by some facts. All 13 colonies participated in slavery. The first Rhode Island regiment is the first to be integrated into our national military history, and Massachusetts was the first to legalize slavery. And so you then had other people on the loyalist side who were black loyalists. A man named Colonel Tye. He was one of many slaves who revolted with the British. He burned patriot houses. He knew where they lived. He was known for leadership and fighting skill. He was the most feared and respected guerrilla commander of the Revolution, and he led several successful raids and freed slaves. Unfortunately, he was shot in his hand with a musket during one of the battles, and he developed gangrene and died within the next day. And so you have before us these magnificent, exceptional individuals who contributed to the independence of this country. It is the case that literally, if Washington had not employed or went after black slaves to fight, they probably would have lost the war, because, to be honest, the black loyalists were like Colonel Tye. They were basically kicking the Continental Army's butt right and left. And once they interdicted those black patriot soldiers, men like Salem and Armstead as a spy, and then there's also a wonderful, wonderful lady, Miss Elizabeth Freeman, who basically said that if she was given an opportunity to have 1 minute as a free person, just 1 minute, she would take that 1 minute over the rest of her life as a slave. Dr. King said of a man who we all probably know of, most of us, but some of us I don't, and our kids probably don't either. He is the most famous of all of the revolutionary people, the black revolutionary patriots. And this is Crispus Attucks, born 1723 and died in 1770. He's traditionally regarded as the first person killed at the Boston Massacre. So he is of great central importance. Dr. King said that of Attucks that he was one of the most important figures in African American history. Not what he did for his own race, but because what he did for all oppressed people everywhere, looking for justice. Justice is mentioned many times in the Bible, and oftentimes preachers don't preach about it. But I love Dr. King. He said that the moral universe is long, but it tends to bend towards justice. And so from 13 states to Watergate, from Plymouth Rock to Acid Rock, we have been believed in our convictions and been convicted for our beliefs. So let your children know about some of these people and Google their names, and you'll be fascinated when you read their full stories. It's truly amazing how they were still fighting for a country that had them enslaved. Once again, I thank you for the lateness of this piece, and all I can say to you is peace be with you, come in peace, and go in peace. Thank you. This is Randy LaFall from the LaFall Group.
Buckle up, America. This ain't your grandma's election season. 2024 is a powder keg waiting to explode, and we're pouring gasoline on the flames. From the sun-baked deserts of Arizona to the icy tundras of Maine, the fault lines are widening, the political tremors intensifying. Red against blue, urban against rural, populist against elitists. This election's a story of two Americas locked in a staring contest, daring each other to blink. Well, be your boots on the ground, your fly on the